Deep in the heart of a changing world, in an Igbo village where the smoke of ancient forges once rose to meet the sky, lived a man named Uzoma. Uzoma was a master blacksmith. By all accounts of tradition and expertise, his hands should have been shaping wealth. His forge should have been the proud heartbeat of his community. His lineage was one of master ironworkers, men who held the spiritual secrets of manipulating fire and metal. Instead, Uzoma's life was a tumultuous, agonizing storm of misfortune. No matter how hard he struck the iron, the metal brittle cracked. His business crumbled. Crops withered to ash in his soil. His household was plagued by strange, unexplainable sicknesses, and an oppressive, heavy fog seemed to settle over his mind every single day. For years, Uzoma walked the earth as a living ghost, broken by a universe that seemed to have turned its back on him. He didn't know that the root of his agony was buried beneath the dust of his own family compound. Decades earlier, under the burning zeal of Western religion, his family had done the unthinkable. Eager to prove their new faith to the local missionaries, they marched into the family sanctuary. They tore down the obi Ndiichie,
the ancestral obi. They smashed the ancient consecrated orphor sticks, shattered the sacred pottery that held the prayers of their lineage, and cast out the spiritual symbols that had anchored their bloodline for generations. They threw the sacred artifacts into a bonfire, calling it a cleansing. In reality, they had severed their own roots, blinding the spiritual eyes of their household.
Driven to the absolute brink of despair, having lost his savings and facing fierce mockery from his own relatives, who publicly claimed his poverty was a punishment from God for lack of faith, Uzoma reached his breaking point. Late one night, tormented by a recurring dream of an old man standing in a barren forest, holding out empty, burning hands, Uzoma did something desperate. He stepped into the shadows of the night, ignoring the taboos placed by his church-going uncles, to consult an Afa priest. When the divining seeds hit the carved wooden tray, the truth screamed out from the spiritual plane. The Afa priest looked up with heavy, pitiful eyes. The oracle revealed a terrible vision. The Ndiichie of his lineage were wandering in the cold, locked out of their own compound, watching their descendants perish simply because they lacked a spiritual roof. The voice of his great-grandfather, a revered ironworker himself, was crying out from the very soil, choked by the ashes of the burnt orpho. The revelation sparked a brutal domestic war. When Uzoma announced to his extended family that he was going to clear the weeds from the abandoned corner of the compound, rebuild the obi, and restore the ancestral orpho, his family erupted in animosity. His uncles threatened lawsuits. His cousins called him a pagan, a backslider, a man possessed by demons. They threatened to strip him of his inheritance and disown him completely. But Uzoma had looked into the abyss, and he knew the truth. Standing completely alone in the midst of fierce family hatred, he cleared the dirt with his bare hands. He rebuilt the small wooden obi, brick by brick,
Branch by branch, with deep reverence, guided by the elders who still remembered the old ways, the sacred orphor was remade and restored to its altar. He fell to his knees, offered sacrifices of kola nut and livestock, and poured the first libation of cold water and palm wine, whispering names that hadn't been spoken or honored in 50 years. The shift was instantaneous. It didn't happen like magic, but like a heavy dam breaking. The choking fog lifted from his mind. Within months, the rhythm of hammer on the anvil found its power again. Customers traveled from distant villages because his iron became unbreakable. Wealth began to track him down. The animosity from his family cooled into a silent, bewildered respect as they watched a dying man fully restored to life.
Uzoma did not just rebuild a physical hut.
He repaired the spiritual internet of his lineage. Because, as the ancients say, a family without its Ndiichie is like a tree without roots.
Welcome back to the channel, Spirituality with Francis. Hit that like button if you're ready to uncover hidden truths. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a deeper knowledge of Igbo and African spirituality. Drop a comment below. I'll be in the comment section engaging with you. Today, using Uzoma's journey as our foundation, we are looking past the fear and the propaganda to journey deep into the sacred mechanics of Odinani, the traditional spiritual and philosophical system of the Igbo. We are journeying deep into one of the most sacred, powerful, and misunderstood aspects of Igbo spiritual cosmology, the Ndiichie, the ancestors.
Guardians of Igbo cosmology. Who are these unseen guardians? How do they influence our daily lives, our creativity, and our ultimate destiny? More importantly, how does a regular soul cross the threshold of death to sit upon this exalted council? Turn off your distractions, open your mind, and let's journey into the realm of Odinani. Central to Odinani is the absolute reality of the Ndiichie. These are the ancestral elders who have transitioned past the earthly, physical plane known as Uwa. They now dwell in the spiritual realm, functioning as the sacred custodians of protection, justice, morality, enlightenment, wisdom, and cosmic balance. They are the ancestral linkage, the DNA and chain transferring the genealogy of our ancestral roots across generations. These ancestral roots and connections flow from both the maternal and paternal roots of descendants. From their venerated dominion, they do not sit idly. They actively continue to influence human destinies, mediating on our behalf. They inspire artistic creativity, guide individual spiritual
Journeys and purposes, carry out judgments in consonance with the ancestral deities and Mother Earth, Ani, and uphold the moral harmony of families and entire communities. Think of them as a bridge. They connect the living to the vast realm of spiritual wisdom, deep intuition, and the ancient mysteries of divination. They guide practitioners in mystical knowledge, helping us navigate the chaotic waters of human life. In essence, what Ndiichie represent is very similar to what modern mainstream religions refer to as saints and patrons. They are spiritual intercessors. They do not replace the supreme creator, Chineke, or the pantheon of native deities, Arusi, but rather act as divine lawyers and watchers over their descendants still walking the earth plane. Who qualifies to be an Ndiichie? Now, this is where a critical distinction must be made, and it trips many people up. Not every departed ancestor qualifies to become an Ndiichie. Death does not automatically grant you a seat in the Council of Elders. This sacred group consists strictly of upright, noble, and holy ancestors. To enter this pantheon, a soul must have checked very specific boxes during their time on Earth. They must have obeyed the divine laws of Chineke. They must have lived a life of transparent integrity. They must have strictly upheld Nso Ani, the sacred taboos and moral laws of the Earth Mother, Ani. They must have fulfilled their Chi's divine purpose on Earth. They must have been given proper traditional ceremonial rites at and after their demise. Those who lived corrupt, deceptive, or evil lives are strictly barred from the Council of Ndiichie. When an individual dies, their actions on Earth are spiritually weighed on a cosmic scale. If they fail the test, they are cast out. Instead of ascending,
These dishonorable spirits may be forced to instantly reincarnate to purify their degraded consciousness. In worse cases, they become wandering spirits, restless, earthbound ghosts unable to guide, protect, or bless their living descendants. So when we speak of honoring the Ndiichie, we are not blindly honoring and venerating everyone who has passed away in a family tree. We are selectively tuning into the highest, purest vibrational frequency of our lineage. Ndiichie and reincarnation. The relationship between the Ndiichie and the living is fluid and deeply mathematical. Within the foundational tapestry of Igbo spirituality, the concept of reincarnation is absolutely central to how we understand the
Endless cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Far from being a random event, this process is meticulously organized, and the Ndiichie play a pivotal role in orchestrating it. It is believed that the Ndiichie, operating from their exalted, ascended state, actively govern and guide the mechanics of reincarnation. They act as cosmic architects, ensuring that when the spirits of their descendants return to the earthly plane, they do so equipped with a specific blueprint, carrying precise divine purposes and evolutionary lessons to fulfill in their new lifetime. While the Ndiichie collectively oversee this balance, their individual expressions vary. Some ancestral elders choose to physically cross the threshold back into the material world, reincarnating in human form to advance their own spiritual development, or to act as liberators and guides for struggling souls within the lineage. Others choose to remain entirely in the ancestral realm, choosing instead to serve as discarnate guides, cosmic judges, and unseen protectors for the living family members. Ultimately, this divine decision, whether to return in flesh or to watch from the spirit world, is deeply tied to the unfolding path of that specific ancestor's spiritual journey, balanced against the pressing spiritual and material needs of their family or community on Earth. How we communicate with and honor Ndiichie. As we saw in Uzoma's story, the link between the living and the ancestors remains alive through sacred rituals and spiritual communion. This is not
a passive belief system. It is an active relationship. Families and communities honor Ndiichie through prayers, ego orfor, sacrifices, libations, festivals, masquerade performances, and offerings. Acts that renew the bond between the living and the departed. When a practitioner offers sacrifices, or pours palm wine or drinks like gin onto the earth, they are opening a physical conduit between planes. This act physically and spiritually breaks the density between our world and theirs. It renews an ancient contract of mutual protection. Ndiichie, in turn, communicate through dreams, trances, visions, telepathy, Afa Divination, and ritual invocations. Through Afa, the sacred divination system in Igbo spirituality, Dibias and spiritual priests decode the explicit vocabulary of the spirits, revealing the exact, unedited will of the Council of Elders, and pointing out exactly where our lives have fallen out of alignment with Ndiichie. Ndiichie in modern Igbo spirituality. In traditional wisdom, it is believed that the spiritual imprint and cellular memory of an Ndiichie strongly influences their lineage down to the generations of descendants. This means the choices you make today and the integrity you hold or compromise ripples down for centuries. Though times have changed, the essence of Ndiichie still resonates deeply in modern spirituality. They mirror the idea of spirit guides, ancestral mentors, energy protectors, and reincarnated souls who guide humanity toward higher consciousness. Their energy reverberates with modern practices such as meditation, ancestral reverence, mindfulness, self-realization, and tuning into nature. To connect with our ancestors is to attune to nature, For nature itself embodies their essence and presence. The earth, rivers, trees, air, and fire all carry their spiritual imprints. As we close today's journey, I leave you with this final, beautiful truth to carry in your heart. Your elders live within and around you, guiding, protecting, and reminding you of who you truly are.
Do you honor your ancestors? Ndiichie? Like Uzoma, have you ever felt a disconnect from your roots? Or do you actively honor your ancestors? How do you connect with the Ndiichie and the spirit guides of your own lineage in your daily life? Please share your experiences, your thoughts, and your family stories in the comments section below. If this deep dive brought value to your spiritual journey, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with another seeker of wisdom. Until next time, keep seeking, keep remembering, and stay grounded. Peace. Yagazie.